Hello Capricorn and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements looking at your connection to the person that you are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. We're looking at all three sides of the connection. We've got your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it. The concept being that there are three sides to every story. So we're looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level, unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section is looking at what is the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self, to ultimately create the relationships, attract the relationships that you deserve and desire. As I do in all of my readings, I've pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages as well as the overall theme, which we'll jump into in just a second, but I still have a different tarot deck I'll be pulling from for each side of this connection. Then I have the advice deck that I'll be using to close out the reading in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So please do remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. On that note, the whole reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, that's totally fine and totally normal. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. All right, Capricorn, let's jump on in. I'm not going to lie to you. I think this might be a bit of a heavy one. When I was pulling the energy, I think I went oof a couple of times when pulling these cards. I mean, just right out of the gate on your side of the connection, you have shattered with the Ten of Swords. So something intense went down in this connection. I feel like here with this Ten of Swords, this is this energy of, it could be betrayal, it could be abandonment, which I guess can kind of feel like a different form of betrayal. And I feel like it kind of has left you a little bit shattered. I feel like now you're in the process of trying to pick up the pieces of what happened here and maybe even understand what really went down, which I feel like might actually be a big focus of this reading is kind of understanding things from a deeper, different perspective. Now, this person has a dangerous combination of manipulation with the Five of Swords. And the reason that this is dangerous is because in this Five of Swords energy, I really see like victim mentality or, well, I've been hurt before, so therefore, like, it doesn't matter if I hurt other people or and maybe it's not that outright, hurt people do hurt people, and a lot of times hurt people don't even realize that the way that they're acting is hurting other people. But I do definitely feel like the reason I feel like it's a bit dangerous is because of the victim mentality aspect of this. I've hurt you, but now I feel like a victim for whatever reason. And I feel like that can start to be really confusing because then we can start to feel guilty for the way that we respond to how other people treat us. And it's important that we don't do that because how other people treat us is more of a reflection of them than it is of us anyway. So I don't know. I think that there's a lot to talk about when it comes to this connection, but I definitely do feel as if there was manipulation from this person's side, and I feel like as if it's been a very painful experience for you. Now, in between the connection, you have know your worth with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Knowing your worth, obviously, yeah, absolutely know your worth, but taking it a little bit further than that, when we're dealing with someone who has been a little bit more manipulative, we can start to second guess or wonder like, well, did I deserve this? Or did I do something wrong to deserve this? Or is there a part of me that's not lovable and that's why they treated me this way? And we start to kind of take the things that have happened very personally, which is so understandable. It's a personal relationship. So of course you're going to take things personally. But again, going back to what I said, I feel like it's understanding that the way that people treat us has more to do with where they're at in their life and in their journey than it does to do with us. Now, does that make it fair? No. Does that make it okay? No. But seeing things from that perspective can certainly make the healing process a little bit easier. Now, with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, it's important for you to know that you still have opportunities to be loved well. I feel like you maybe feel like you've really lost that through this connection, but you haven't. The overall theme of the reading is free yourself. It says it's time to take back control of your life. I feel like I'm speaking to a collective where this could have gone down like years ago. This could be something that you're still holding on to. It doesn't have to be. It could be something that has happened recently, but this free yourself card, I feel like, is breaking out of the experience of the pain that this person has caused you, which, is ultimately allowing yourself to fully heal and move forward, which is not easy to do by any means. But I feel like like I said, there's a lot here. So let's start, Capricorn, with your side of this connection. You have shattered with the 10 of Swords. This is Capricorn's energy toward the person they are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. That's always going to be my intention for my love readings, because I think that we always need to direct our focus to how we're being pushed to learn and grow. And a lot of times the ways that we learn and grow the most, unfortunately, are through the more painful experiences. So let's see, Capricorn, your side of this connection to the person that you are dealing with. The 9 of Wands. And then you have the 6 of Pentacles. 6 of Cups. So this could have been something that went down in your past. I definitely feel at the very least this connection has been in your life for a really long time, which maybe even has furthered kind of the 10 of Swords aspect. But with this 9 of Wands, it feels like you've been stuck almost, like and I already kind of said this, but in the pain of the experience, almost like been hard for you to move forward or to let it go, even if you want to. Like, even if you're like, man, I really want to move forward from this, like, I'm tired of dealing with this, but like, then you think about it and it just like brings it all back. Or, I don't know, maybe you're having a really hard time healing. And that might be why it's coming through. Because I feel like this is like this person did a number on you. And that's going to take anyone a long time to heal from. Now, in addition to that, when people treat us poorly, it almost, I feel like I've really learned that when people hurt us, we're pushed into one of two ways. We either become the people who have hurt us, or we try to see things from a place of growth and learning, and we try to heal and we try to evolve, and we continue to keep our heart open even though it's hard. And when that saying, hurt people, that's typically people who have a lot of unhealed wounds coming out in their experiences with other people. So I feel like, I don't know why exactly this specific connection has done so much, it feels like it's done so much damage, but I do feel as if there's something about it, like a purpose for it, that as you like move forward will be revealed. Because again, it feels like, I feel like it feels like you can't move forward from this, or like you'll never heal, or like never be the same, which maybe you won't ever be the same, but that can be a good thing too. You know, you can be stronger now. I don't know. Anyway, okay, let's just keep going. Capricorn side of the connection. Except that you have the free yourself. It's freeing yourself from this experience. Capricorn side of the connection. Ooh, Capricorn, you've been stuck in a cycle. 6 of Swords in reverse, 7 of Wands in reverse, and the World in reverse. Been stuck in a cycle, and you could be dealing with a water sign. Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. Could be dealing with a water sign here. I feel like this is one of those experiences of like you cared or like loved and cared about this person so much that you couldn't understand how they would do the whatever it is that they did here, because you would never do that to them. And I think that that has kept you trying to figure out like what's wrong with you that would make someone treat someone else this way. I don't know, there's almost this energy of it must be me, or there's something wrong with me, or I'm not good enough, or I don't know. And again, that makes plenty of sense, but I feel like that's what's making it so hard for you to heal and move forward, is because there's almost this feeling of like this was your fault. Or like, now, okay, it's always important to see things from this perspective of like, yeah, I mean, there's always going to be things you could have done better, right? No one's perfect. I'm not saying you were just perfect in this connection. There's always ways you could be better, but I can tell you that whatever this person did was unwarranted. That's what it feels like. But for whatever reason, to you or to me, I mean, in this reading, it almost feels like there's this energy of blaming yourself. Now, one of my favorite quotes is, a person who blames others has not begun their lesson. A person who blames themselves has begun their lesson. And a person who blames no one has finished their lesson. But the reason I like that quote isn't because I think that you need to blame and shame yourself for everything that you've done wrong and figure out why you were deserving of negative treatment. The reason that I like that quote is it allows you to take back control and say, okay, here's where the things that were in my control, here's where the ways that I could have improved. But at the same time, I still wasn't deserving of this. So there's a way to take accountability without this, the shame and the guilt. I don't know. It just feels like you're stuck in this cycle of wondering, why you weren't good enough or something. When in reality, I feel like the way that this person acted in this connection, like this could have been anybody that they would treat like this. It just unfortunately is you. All right, Capricorn's side of this connection. This is heavy. This is a heavy reading. See, there it is. The Moon, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Fool. It's like, because I feel like you put a lot into this. You put a lot into this too. And I think that you put a lot into trying to make this work and to trying to be who you felt you needed to be or what you felt you needed to be in order to make this connection work with this person. And then they turn around, they did whatever. Okay, I don't know. I haven't looked at their energy. I don't necessarily know what went down. But they turn around, they did whatever to make you feel like this, which is going to make you go, well, maybe that means no matter how hard I try, I'm always just going to get screwed over. I'm always going to end up hurt because I'm broken or there's something wrong with me. Now, when we have this belief that we're broken, we tend to actually look or see ourselves in people that mirror that back at us. And I think it's important for you to know that you're not broken. Okay, you don't need fixing. You might be hurt. You might have experienced a lot of trauma, but there's nothing wrong with you. And no matter what you've been through and the ways that you've been hurt, you are still deserving and capable of the love that you desire. I think that when we get hurt one too many times, we start to go, well, maybe I'm just not meant to have it. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I'm too broken or whatever the case is. And it's important for you to know that you're not. And the fear that you are experiencing in this connection of I put so much into this and it amounted to this, that's this fear that inherently you are deserving of the way that you were treated here. And you weren't. Now, on a conscious level, you might be able to say, no, I wasn't deserving of that. But remember, 95% of the way that we interact, view, perceive our reality comes from our subconscious belief system. And our subconscious belief system is going to be made up of the way that we've internalized the things that we've been through. So when we've been hurt a lot, when we haven't received the love that we desire, when in addition to that we've received the opposite, negative treatment, we're going to start to internalize that as, I'm not good enough, there's something wrong with me, I'm never going to have what I want. And then we're going to attract people that mirror that kind of, I know I kind of mentioned this, but I'm reiterating. We're going to attract people that kind of mirror that back to us, and we're going to try to fix them. Because we're going to say, I'm too broken to be treated well, but I see brokenness in you that I see in me, so if I can fix that brokenness in you, you can fix that brokenness in me. But you're not broken. You might feel like it, but there's nothing wrong with you, and you don't need to heal or fix yourself in order to be worthy of being treated well. But I feel like this connection, for whatever reason, has really affected the way that you view your worth. And one of the things that I talk a lot about is that our worth is never dependent on how other people treat us. Our worth is dependent on what we decide it is. And again, when we've been hurt a lot, we're going to tend to have a more negative view of what our worth is, because we're going to think, well, look at all of this proof that I have. Like, I've been treated poorly so many times. Like, look at this proof that I'm unworthy of being treated well. But that's not proof of what you're deserving of. That's proof of what you've been taught you're deserving of what you think that you're deserving of. But you've always been deserving of being treated well. So I feel like one of the reasons that you're having a hard time healing from this is you're trying to figure out what's wrong with you or what you need to fix in order to be treated well, when in reality, there's nothing wrong with you. Sure, there are ways you can heal and grow and evolve and treat yourself better, but that doesn't mean that, healing's a lifelong journey. Growth is a lifelong journey, and you've been deserving every single step of the way. It's just that people have made you feel like you're not, which has caused you to attract people that mirror that back at you, that brokenness that you feel you have. Dang, this is deep. So let's figure out what's going on with them. Manipulation with the Five of Swords. This person's energy toward Capricorn. Sorry you guys are going through so much. I feel like, these readings aren't going to resonate for everyone every week. And, maybe this is, maybe you are. Maybe I'm talking to someone in this collective who's like already moved past from this, or whatever the case is. But, I do think that and if that is you, if you are someone who's been through something like this and has healed and grown and evolved and has gotten past it, drop a comment. Give the people that are going through this a little bit of hope. I remember when I was going through a really devastating relationship. There was emotional abuse. There was just a lot there. It's really easy to feel very alone, because no one, unless you've been through that, no one really seems to understand, because it's always like, well, why didn't you just leave? Or you should have seen it coming, or whatever the case is. But that's not how it works. That's not how the human brain works. That's not how attachment works. And I think that, at the very end of the day, it's important, Capricorn, for those of you who are struggling with this, who are going through this, to know that you will heal, and that your ability to be loved in the way that you deserve still exists, even if it feels like it doesn't. Okay. This person's energy toward Capricorn. Manipulation with the Five of Swords. Okay. This is what makes me angry. Is I feel like this person, because here's the Five of Swords, right? Same Five of Swords and then the Three of Swords. This person is hurting or feeling hurt by the way that you've reacted to their treatment. And that's not okay. Well, everyone deserves to feel how they feel, but there's no accountability here. Because again, there's that kind of victim mentality. What the heck happened? I don't know what they did. What did this person do? And maybe it's too specific to get into in a general reading. And maybe that's not for me to know. I guess, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, I'm getting to... Oh. They pretended to be someone they weren't. That's the manipulation. It's like they either pretended to be someone they weren't, or they faked intentions. They weren't honest about intentions, because I feel like they pretended to be this lovers, this oh, I'm your soulmate. But then that's not what happened. But now why are they feeling hurt? It's like they're feeling hurt that they hurt you. But not in like a accountability kind of way, in like a I'm sad of how this affects me. And I feel like I told you, that's a dangerous combination. Somebody who hurts other people and then ends up heartbroken because other people respond negatively to that. This person's got a long, long way to go on their growth and their healing journey. And, I will always say, like, how do I say this? I truly don't think there are, like, bad people, okay? I think that there are people who don't know better, who are hurt, who are lost, who are deep in survival mode, and who don't know better. Do I believe that, like, negative exists? Absolutely, but I think that all of us hold just as much light and dark, and whichever one we lean into is who we become. So what I'm getting at with this is I don't necessarily think this person's a bad person, okay? I think that this person is carrying a lot of their own pain that causes them to not act good in relationships. I think there's so many other words I could put there. Like, just this causes them to act like this. And I think that I will say, I've been in a lot of relationships in my life, and I've talked about this on my channel before. I've been the person who's been hurt, and I've been the person who's done the hurting. I've been on both sides. And a lot of times, looking back at the ways that I've hurt others, I can see that all I was trying to do was save myself, or get the other person to save me, or I don't know. Does that mean to justify my behavior? No, absolutely not. But what I can tell you is that I was deeply hurt, and I had no idea. I hadn't dealt with that hurt. I hadn't faced that hurt. I didn't even for a long time know that it existed. So I took it out on others. Not intentionally, but through my actions, through my behavior, that's what happened. And then I healed, and I grew a little bit. And then I became very, very empathetic, because I was on the other side. And then I could see how, I'd have empathy for other people who hurt people, because I was like, I've been there, I get it. Like, and then I was the one getting hurt. And then I finally kind of found this balance that I have now. So I think that, this is just someone who is, I feel like, very lost on their journey, has a lot of healing, has a lot of growth to go through. And it's important for you to know that the way that they acted in this connection it's not about you. It's not that you were deserving of it, or that you did something wrong, or it's just so easy to internalize other people's treatment and to believe that that's all we're worthy of. Okay, this person's energy toward Capricorn. What does Capricorn need to know about this person's energy toward them? Six of Wands in reverse. Two of Pentacles, Empress in reverse. They didn't value you appropriately because they don't value themselves. They didn't value you appropriately because they don't. Now, that doesn't mean they don't value their ego. That doesn't mean they don't value the person that they pretend to be for others. It means that who they really are, they don't value. Because with the Six of Wands in reverse, it's almost like this person like approaches relationships from this place of this probably will like end badly, like expecting failure, expecting pain, expecting loss. And when you're dealing with someone who is already expecting things to go wrong, you're dealing with someone who's 1 foot out. It's like they're ready to bolt at any moment. And they'll experience that throughout their whole life if there's no healing. It's like, oh, this connection's exciting, it's fun, but as soon as things get serious, I gotta go, or I'm gonna sabotage it in some way, I'm gonna push this away. But then you might even have someone who, brings you back in, right? It's like, well, oh, I miss you so much and I made so many mistakes. But then like they do the same thing over and over, is because someone who lacks valuing themselves is someone who lacks valuing others. Because a lack of value of ourselves can cause us to do one of two things. We're either going to undervalue the people who value us, and we're going to overvalue the people who don't value us. And that's typically where you get the chaser-runner dynamic, and I feel like that might have happened here. It's like overvaluing the treatment and opinion of someone who didn't value you while they're undervaluing someone who valued them. But it all stems from this lack of feeling like, I feel like there's a mirror here of both people feeling pretty unworthy. And I'm not, when I talk about this, it's important for you to know that I'm not blaming you. Again, I'm not saying this is I'm saying the opposite of that, right? But in order for us to free ourselves from the pain that other people have caused us, we have to look and understand how, first of all, like what about that situation, was about them and what was about us. I was in I talked about this already a little bit in this reading, but I was in that emotionally abusive relationship, and for a really long time, like I was devastated after. Like this person treated me so poorly for months and then ended up leaving me. And I was like, wow, I stuck around through all this poor treatment, and then at the end of the day, I'm the one who gets screwed over, even though I'm the one who stayed for so long. And I couldn't, for the life of me, figure out how to let go of this connection. And for a while there, I even wanted this person back because it was, this person made me feel so horrible that I was like, I don't feel like I can heal until this person treats me the way or values me in the way that I deserve. And the reason that I did that was because nobody had ever made me feel that bad before. And it wasn't until I started looking at, okay, well, sure, like, yeah, this person's messed up. They got a lot that they need to heal, a lot of ways that they need to grow. But what is within my control? And I realized, first of all, none of that, none of the whatever had to do with the other person, but what was within my control was what that was reflecting back at me. Because there was a part of me that believed that I was so deserving of being treated poorly that that was like as good as it was ever going to get for me. That I believed that the way that person treated me was as good as it would ever be, or as good as I would ever have. And that caused me to dive into some really deep healing, to understand, okay, why did I believe, first of all, like, why did I stay for so long? And ultimately, why did I also want someone who treated me so poorly back? And I realized that I was looking for this person to make me feel lovable, to make me feel worthy, because they made me feel so unlovable and so unworthy that it felt like they were the solution. But I realized after a lot of healing that I was the solution the whole time, and that learning that the way that person treated me was a direct reflection of the way that I believed I was deserving of being treated, helped me kind of dive into how I viewed my self-worth and how I viewed what I was deserving of as a whole. And what that allowed me to do was ultimately forgive that person. I got to a point where I was like, you know what? That person helped me heal and grow in a way, or that connection, not necessarily that person, but helped me heal and grow in a way that I never would have been able to if I hadn't have gone through that connection. And the person I am now and the relationships I get to have, with my fiance and my friendships, all of these things that I have in my life now are a direct result of the growth and the healing that took place because of that connection. And at the time, I remember thinking that, like, I would have rather, I was like, I wish that I never would have met this person. Like, it hurt so freaking bad. And I never thought that I was ever going to freaking get over it. And it took time for sure. But it also, the biggest thing that it took was a perspective shift. It took me, reflecting back on me, like looking at this as, okay, why is this hurting me so bad? Why am I viewing this as something that I feel that I was deserving of? Why am I so stuck on someone who wasn't ever deserving really of the love that I had to give in the first place? Or, I think everyone's deserving of love, but it's, sometimes we go, well, why am I deserving of the negative treatment? When in reality, you should go, was this person ever deserving of my positive treatment? With the way that they were treating me. All right, this person's energy toward Capricorn. I hope that makes sense, because again, I'm not just trying to like throw this person under the bus and say it's all their fault, like you had nothing to do with it. But I do definitely feel like, you're done pretty wrong here. So, all right, this person's energy toward Capricorn. I knew we were going to see that. Three of Pentacles. It could have been a third party, or like you would know, okay? You would know. This isn't me. Don't take this as me telling you there was one, because whatever happened, you've already been hurt by. So let me get clarity on this Three of Pentacles. Well, there's the Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio again. The water sign. I feel like that's in reverse, because this is emotional. Like, when I see the King of Cups in reverse, I see like emotional manipulation. Like, I literally see gaslighting, love bombing, kind of the more narcissistic. And I hate how much that word is thrown around, because not everyone who has narcissistic tendencies is a narcissist. Okay, so be very careful when you're diagnosing people. But I do see this as more kind of having those narcissistic traits in relationships. And I feel like that's what this came down to. And it doesn't mean, again, that, I don't know, it feels like who they presented themselves as in the beginning, and how they presented to value this connection was very different than what it came down to in the end. And that can be really hard for you to believe, to ever trust anyone again, and all of those things. But that's how you free yourself. One of the best things that I ever did was forgive the person who hurt me, because that's when I truly took my power back and said, you no longer have control over me. You don't have control over the way that I feel. You don't have control over the life that I get to live. It was this freedom of being able to say, I am stronger, better now because of this connection, but I also am no longer going to give any more of my time and my energy to you. And that allowed me to move forward into, like I said, relationships that were so much better than I ever even realized, because I got to this place where I was like, well, I now know what someone who treats me like that looks like. So I'm going to make sure that I never go back to anything like that again. Which ultimately kind of led me to, like I said, where I am now. So you can and will heal, Capricorn, even if it doesn't feel like it. But okay, we're going to hop on over to the extended. You have Know Your Worth with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. This is looking at the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. And then I've got that advice card to pull at the very end. Thank you so much, Capricorn, as always, for your support of my channel. I obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Capricorn.